Welcome to Crafting on the Plains. My name is Jacinta, and this is my channel about cross stitch, sewing, sometimes knitting, sometimes quilting, just whatever random crafty endeavors that I happen to get up to over the course of a few weeks. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome, and if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I really appreciate you taking some time out of this busy season to join me. If you have not already, please consider subscribing and liking this video. I would really appreciate it. I also have an Instagram, which I will put the links to below, as well as an email account if you want to get a hold of me that way. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the crafting. As usual, I will try to put some timestamps down below in case you are interested or not interested in any particular parts of the video, so that way you can jump around. But today I have a finish, a cross stitch, well, almost a fully finish. It's a finish and almost a fully finish. I've got some whips, I've got some haul, and I've got a little bit of sewing as well. So I'm going to start off with my cross stitch almost fully finished. So this was a whip the last time I showed you, and it has a thread that needs to be trimmed. That's good. Okay, so I have been participating in the ornament exchange stitch along that's been hosted by Jess of Como Stitches and Alicia of the Fanciful Flamingo. And we drew names back in late October, and we have to send out our ornament by December 4th. And so this is what I chose. It is out of Cross Stitcher magazine, the November issue. And it's looking more crooked than it actually is. I don't know why it's looking crooked on camera, but it's not actually that crooked. It is like this is pretty much even, but it looks really crooked on camera. That's so weird. But this is Deck the Halls by Faye Walsh. I think it's Little Dove Designs. It was out of the November issue of Cross Stitcher, and it is finished. And I used like some of the called for, and then the rest I just grab whatever DMs use in my stash, and it's so cute. So there it is, and it's stitched on 36 count flax by Fiber on a Whim. Why I have a ton of Fiber on a Whim and I use them all the time. Why I blanked on that, I don't know. And I have to tell you, y'all, when I was finishing this yesterday, as you can see, I added some rickrack that was just in my stash, and I added some fabric. I slit the back so I can stuff it. I ran out of stuffing. You'll see on another project that I ran out of stuffing. But I'm going to stuff it and then sew it up. And I forgot how to sew when I was working on this project. I just completely forgot to sew. I think I was trying to work on some clothes. I'm making matching skirts for my daughter and I for Thanksgiving, one of which finished, the other one is not done, and this is the day before Thanksgiving here in the United States. So I need to hurry up. That's what I'm going to spend this night doing. But I was ready to work on those, and I realized that I had not pre-washed my fabric. And I always pre-wash garment fabric. I hardly ever pre-wash fabric for like just quilting or little home decor pieces. So I realized I had not pre-washed it, so I went to pre-wash it, and I was kind of stressed out because I was like, I really need to work on these because I put it off. So I thought, okay, there's some other stuff I need to sew. I'm going to sew that now so that I can work on I won't have to do it later, right? So I decided to pull this out, and I think I was frustrated at myself for forgetting to wash the other fabric, and I was really nervous because I finish things. I've been sewing a long time, but I have never finished something to send to somebody else. Like, I've framed some things for like family or whatever, but I've never like sewn something and sent it away to another stitcher who is gonna know if it's not good. And I also kind of knew, like, okay, if this doesn't go right, I am not gonna have time to restitch something else, so it has to be perfect. And so I sewed the rickrack on the wrong side, had to rip that off, restitch it on the right side. I forgot to put my ornament hanger in, so I had to pick out some stitches and put that back in. So it's been a struggle. but here it is. It's really cute, and I left quite a big, it's like a 3/4 inch border, but that's just so that I can stuff it and you'll be able to see the full piece like on the front once it's stuffed. I think it'll look better. So, and then I did have a good idea, which I borrowed. I was inspired by Textily Crafts. I just started watching her Flosstubes. She's so inspiring, has so many good ideas, and she just started designing, so I will link her below. Highly suggest you check her out. She has a great energy, but she, on all of her smalls, she always puts a little charm on the back that has the year that she stitched it. And I thought that was so smart because, you know, we always remember to, or a lot of times we put our dates and our initials and stuff on our bigger pieces that are being framed. But for our smalls, we don't always like add that kind of stuff on there because it's just going to be a little home decor piece that sets like in a dough bowl or hangs on a tree or something. And I like the idea of still having something on there that shows the year. So I did not have any of those charms. She shows you where to get the charms. They're really cute. But I didn't want to order 2023 charms just for this. So because I knew I was going to have to put something over to the back, like a piece of fabric over to the back anyway to cover up where my seam is, I grabbed a piece of scrap fabric and I embroidered just kind of a little stem stitch, 2023. You can see down here, I wrote it out in a water soluble pen, and then I realized that's kind of close to the edge to be embroidering. So I just put it up here. And so I'm going to iron on some heat and bond, cut around it with some pinking shears, and then that'll go on the back there. So she can see what year that it is. So I'm hoping my swap partner likes it. And I'm going to try to finish that up. Probably not today because I need to finish my Thanksgiving skirts today, but probably I will finish it within like this next weekend because I need to send out by the 4th and I want to send out ahead of the 4th. So that is my only almost fully finished. I will post pictures when it is finished on Instagram, and if I will have already sent it out by the time I do my next Flosstube. I will post a picture of the finished object in my next Flosstube. So the next thing I have is whips, and I actually established a stitching rotation. So I feel like a really legit Flosstuber now because I have a stitching rotation. But I have so many projects that I want to work on for this holiday season, and I want to make sure that I get good progress on all of them. So I've kind of created like a loose rotation. I have it written down. If you're interested, I have a little like crafting. It's not a book of days. It's just a little like journal where I keep some ideas and plans and what I'm working on. If you're interested in having a little sneak peek into that, please let me know because I've thought about showing it when I do my end of the year, beginning of next year plans video. So in my rotation, I'm going to be doing 2 days on a big project, 1 day on a small, and then 2 more days on a different big project, and then 1 day on a small, and then the final day will be free day for anything. So my first 2 days I spend on this one, which is Christmas Bells Sampler by Heartstring Samplery, and it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. And I've gotten some good progress on this. So if you see here, I just had to, I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play. And so I added wild. And so basically because of where my Q snap is located, I couldn't stitch across the whole piece. So I did wild, and then it'll say sweet, and then the words, and then it'll say repeat. And then I actually just jumped down to start with Goodwill to Men because it was easier to count up from those leaves on Goodwill than it would have been to count down to Peace on Earth. So I just usually go with what's the easiest to count, what's the least spaces to count, because I do not want to make mistakes. So I've been working on words, and I will probably the next time I pick this up, which will be the beginning of next week, because this one I stitch on Monday and Tuesday. So I've worked on it yesterday and today, or Monday and Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. What day is it even? And so when I pick it up next Monday, I will probably jump down and start working on the rest of the border just because I do love working on those leaves and those flowers. And this is with my own color and cotton conversion. If you are interested, I went into it in detail in the last video, or if you want to know exactly what it is, please just email me, message me on Instagram. Happy to send it. And my needle minder is from Flamingo Toes. It's so cute. Okay, my next whip. So I said I'll do 2 days on Christmas Bell Sampler, and then Wednesday will be a smalls day. So whatever small I feel like working on, I'll work on it. And then Thursday and Friday is my next piece, which is being housed in something I'll talk about in sewing. And this is the Christmas Wonderland Stitch Along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And here's where I am, and I feel like I've gotten almost nothing done, which is not true. But this piece has been a struggle. So I put a little bit more into the pond, and I came over here and I started working on this little clock tower, and I got the full kit. This is being stitched on the 32 count even weave. And I realized that one reason that this is going so slowly is I am struggling to see the squares. And I don't know why, because even as I'm looking at it right now, granted I'm looking at it through a light, I can see all the individual strands. So for some reason, I don't know if it's the color, I don't know if it's like that, but even weave is supposed to be easier to stitch on than linen. And my favorite count to stitch on is 36. And this piece is on 36. I have no problem seeing it. I stitched this on 36. I don't even usually need a magnifier on 36. But for some reason, I am struggling to see this 32 count even weave. And it's making it difficult. So the last day that I worked on this, I finally just gave in and I pulled out my magnifying light, and it made such a difference. Made such a difference, you guys. So I think I'm just going to have to use my magnifying light on this. I don't know why. I don't know if my eyes are just always tired when I work on it or what it is, because I've never had to magnify 32. But I want to get it done, and this is a special project to me. I love it. It was a little bit of a splurge to get the kit, and I want to enjoy working on it, and I want to love it. And so, and I'm not expecting, I'm not finished with clue 1. I jumped over, started clue 2. Clue 5 just came out the other day. Like, I'm not going to keep up with this thing. I haven't, and I won't. So I don't even plan on finishing it this like Christmas season, but I would like to get some pretty significant progress on it to where I can finish it up next Christmas maybe. And I've got to figure out a solution if I'm going to do that. So that is that piece. And then the last piece that I have been working on that is a whip is housed in this bag that I have made myself, and that is Winter Thistle by Modern Folk Embroidery. And it's just coming out so beautiful. This needle minder is also from Flamingo Toes, and I added on a deer. I started doing some of the bottom border. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. This is on 36 count Witching Hour by Under the Sea Fabrics. I do magnify this 36 count because it is dark and it is very tight weave. And I'm currently stitching on it using Fool's Gold by Classic Colorworks, which I do not technically have enough of, so we're just playing a little bit of red chicken and seeing how it goes. But I really love this. This is such a relaxing project. I'm doing 1/1 on this, which I don't normally do on 36 count, but I think it looks great. And so at the bottom of this chart, which I'm going to pop a picture on the screen, it says Christmas down here, which is cute. And at first I was just going to leave off the Christmas and just have the little stags and thistle and birds. But I'm considering actually recharting it to say Merry Christmas in Scottish Gaelic, which I already looked up. I'm not going to say it because I know I will butcher it. I've been following several Scottish Gaelic learning like Instagram accounts, YouTube channels. I'm not learning it very well, but I love the language. I love languages, especially languages that are, I think, minority languages that people have kept alive despite like challenges to keep those languages alive. I'm really interested in those types of languages. And I think if I was going to go back to college and just study anything I wanted with like, regardless of what kind of like job I would have, it would be linguistics. So I really, and it's obvious, I mean, it's obviously a Scottish themed sampler, like it's a thistle and stags, right? So I think that that would be kind of cute to do. So let me know what you think about that. And those are my whips. I do have one plan start that I'm going to be starting this Sunday, and I have some cross stitch haul. So my plan is, this is a SAL that was started by, and I'm looking all around me because I had my phone so that I wouldn't get anything wrong. And then of course I've promptly set my phone down somewhere and I don't know where it is. So apologies if I misspeak, but this SAL was started by Handmade by Sarah W. I know that she is one of the people, and then her sister, who I just looked up her Instagram name, but she's just on Instagram, her sister is. And when I look it up, because I'm not 100% sure I know what that is, but I'll put it on the bottom. But they have started a stitch along for Berries in Bloom, and it's the Stitchy Sister Sal. And they're sisters, and they like to stitch together, and I think that they sort of want to say like everybody who wants to stitch with them can kind of be like a stitchy sister, which I think is really nice. So they're doing Berries in Bloom, and that is a chart that I, like apparently many other people, have had sitting around. It's a free chart by Hands On Design. Came out a couple years ago. I downloaded it as soon as I saw it. I loved it. I kept planning on starting it. Meant for it to be a Jolly July start a couple times, and then just never got around to it. So they were sort of in the same boat, and they said, hey, like everybody, let's do a stitch along. So I'm going to be joining, and it starts, so again, it's a free pattern, and it starts on this coming Sunday, so Sunday the 26th of November. And I pulled everything from Stash because I really like to do that with free patterns. I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like I'm doing a good deed by stitching because I'm using up what I have. That's how I justify buying more stuff, is because I'm using my stash and being good. So I am going to be stitching it on this piece of 32 count. I don't know that it has a name. I can't remember what the name is, but it's by To Die For Fabrics and More on Etsy. I really like their shop. It's got really great shipping, great customer service. So there's that. And then these are my flosses. And I changed up the color palette quite a bit. So I made my greens a lot more true greeny, and I made it very pink. So I'm doing a very pinky toned berries. So the colors I'm using are, for my berries, I'm going to be using DMC 600, which is like probably my favorite pink that DMC has. DMC 600, DMC 3832, just a little bit corally, maybe, kind of salmony pink, and then also DMC 816, which is it's a red, but it's like a berry red color. And then my greens are going to be DMC 986, just a nice forest green. DMC 988, just a little bit lighter. And then DMC 469, just a little bit more olivey green. And then for the words, and there's some little like spines on the holly, I don't know what you call that, is DMC 610. So I have not decided exactly which colors I'm going to use for which leaves and berries. I'm just going to kind of look at it and see what looks right, but I'm happy to share my conversion with anyone that wants the specific information. So I think that that's going to look really good. Really happy about that. And then also B5200, which I just have a tiny bit of. I'm going to grab more. That was what was left after a different project on my floss shop. And this is in another Me Made bag. That's so cute. All right. I have a little bit of haul that I have misplaced because I'm a little bit mess today. Sorry about that. So this is all from Lindy Stitches. I don't even remember why. I just felt compelled to treat myself to a little bit of haul, but I did. So I think it was, I'd been seeing everybody stitching the Wee Santa. I believe there was a Sal for Wee Santa, the Heart and Hand Wee Santa 2023, which I did get, is this one. And I loved it. I didn't want to stitch it right away, but I really, really liked it. And I'm really drawn to it. So I decided to pick it up. And I did not know, but it has beads. Like, it comes with beads. I don't know if I can show you beads without showing you the pattern, but there we go, beads. So I got all this from Lindy Stitches. And then I was looking, and Cam, the stitcher, she was stitching the Wee Santa 2022, which is a pink Santa. And I love any Santas that are non-traditional colors, or like, I love a super skinny Santa. I love a pink Santa. I love a blue Santa. I actually have a skinny pink Santa in my kitchen right now that I put out that I love. And so yeah, I like any non-traditional Santa colored Santas. It's just even more whimsical, in my opinion. I don't know. So this one fits the bill because it's blue, and then it has, just love those flowers. But this one I am obsessed with. And so this is the 2022. And so like I said, Cam was stitching it and I had to have it. So it's beautiful. It's got these beautiful flowers, berry wreath around, and then the pink. It's just so, so cute. And again, it comes with some little beads. And I went ahead and picked up 2 of the colors. I was kind of looking and trying to figure out some of these colors. I think you use such a small amount of them or in such small places that I don't know that you have to have the overdyes. And then a few of the overdyes she was just out of. So I picked up 2 overdyes that I could tell I definitely was going to want to use and she had in stock, which was Strawberry Parfait, which is a pink. It's not actually as variegated as it looked like in the picture, but that's okay. It's still really pretty. And then this one is amazing. This one's called Sea Shelly. And this is another variegated pink. You can see. It's beautiful. So very excited about these. And this may be, I know I said I was going to start Cup of Christmas Cheer, and I still want to, but this, I'm really wanting to do beading right now. I don't know why. This might be my Jingle Ball start. I'm going to Jingle Ball. Is anybody else going to Jingle Ball? Let me know if you are. I'm really excited. It's my first time. I didn't buy any of the classes because I knew that I'd have a couple other things going on during the weekend, and I didn't want to risk like not being able to go to the class. I know that you can access it later maybe, but I don't want to risk it. So I just bought a general admission ticket, but I'm excited to hang out in the stitching rooms and shop and everything. So I'm really excited about Jingle Ball, which is the first weekend of December. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, this might be my Jingle Ball start. I don't know. And then she sent me, I think she sends everybody who orders from her probably a complimentary chart, which is a swan, and it's really pretty. So that's my cross stitch haul. I am going to talk now about just a little bit of sewing. I have a couple other sewing items that I didn't grab just because they're not easy to show. And I'm trying to keep my videos a little bit shorter so they're easier to upload, easier to manage, easier for y'all to watch, again, in the super busy season that we're in. So I have a couple things. So one actually is something that I just showed you as a sneaky peek, and that is this finished piece. I think I showed it last time as a whip. It was like just not bound, so I added the binding. So this is a project bag. I made it out of this really pretty fabric I got from Joann's last year. It just said project bag to me. Like it's embroidery hoops, and it really looks like it's like hand embroidery, but we can pretend that it's cross stitch. I'm pretending that this is cross stitch on here. But there's embroidery floss and there's scissors and there's hoops and design. I mean, it had to be. It had to be. So, and then I used a zipper. I did zipper like tabs because my zipper was too short. And then it's just lined with a white low volume floral print. I think I also got from Joann's. I used the Pellon fusible fleece for this, and I really like the weight and the squishiness of it. So I don't know. I might switch to using the fusible fleece. It was more difficult to put in the zipper. I will tell you that on the fusible fleece. So that is one thing. The next one I have is almost finished, but I ran out of stuffing. So this was the last thing I stuffed with my former bag of stuffing that I had. And this is so cute. This is the mini scrappy snow globe pillow by Simply Eileen. She has an Instagram and also a shop on Etsy where she sells some items, or actually she makes them and sells them. They're handmade items that she makes and sells. She also has kits. I don't know if she has kits for this, but she has kits for like felt applique and stuff. And she has patterns. And her stuff she makes is beautiful. She has an incredible, adorable aesthetic. I want to be her like sewing when I grow up because her design aesthetic is beautiful. And so she designed this, and it's like, so it's applique with heat and bond, and then you add some additional like stitching elements on here, and then of course you make it into a pillow that you can set like in a dough bowl or somewhere on a shelf or whatever. And I just a tiny bit more stuffing is needed before I can sew it up. I love this. I have a couple other patterns of hers that are fall that I've made before. So check her out for sure if you like little home decor cute items. And my daughter and I, we went to the store a couple weeks ago and we picked up more fabric, like Christmas themed fabric, because none of this is actually Christmas themed. This is just random scraps I had. But more Christmas themed fabric for making some more of these because they're so, so cute. It makes me happy. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but it makes me happy. And then my other sewing piece is, I just finished this. There's a thread. It's actually cut. It was just stuck on here. I finished this like 2 hours ago. This is my daughter's Thanksgiving skirt. I too will hopefully have one that matches this before tomorrow when we have to leave to go to my sister's house. Mine is, I have my waistband sewn and I have my like skirt piece sewn. Mine is a little bit more intricate than hers. I just need to like finish attaching everything together. So I didn't bring it for you because it's just big pieces of fabric right now. But so this is the little skirt. So adorable. It's super simple. I did not even use a pattern for this. I think I referenced one of her dress patterns just to know the length and the width, but I also on that end, I don't think I followed that. I think I just used that as a rough, like, because I'm really bad at estimating things math wise. And so I kind of just looked at a few different like skirt sizes to figure out if I was like way off base in my cutting. And so I just cut like a big giant rectangle. And I sewed it together mostly using my serger. So a little bit of a hem, and I didn't even do two sides. It's literally just got one back seam. And then I folded the top. I'll just flip it inside out. This is so easy. If you have little girls, know anyone with little girls, This is, you can do this. Anyone can make these. And then I just folded it down. I didn't even serge this part because it won't fray. It's a knit. So if you want to make it look a little bit cuter, you could serge it, but it doesn't matter. Don't even have to have a serger either. You could just sew this all with zigzag stitch and it'd be fine. Because I did my hem with just a small zigzag, and this part I sewed down with zigzag. So I just folded down the top, made it, sewed an elastic casing, slipped the elastic in, sewed it up. Easy peasy. If only my skirt was that simple. I mean, I could make one like this for me and it would be just fine, but I'm adding a couple elements to make it a little bit more flattering to an adult woman's body. So I'm doing a slightly smaller waistband and a larger skirt, and then I'm thinking I'm going to pleat the skirt to go on the waistband. So the waistband will be a little bit gathered, but not as much bulk, because I don't want extra bulk at my waist. And then I also am doing a slight paper bag waist just for a little extra element. So mine is a little bit different, but essentially, hopefully it'll look like this. Hopefully I'll get it done and I don't do something terrible and destroy it here in the next 24 hours. So, but that concludes all of I have a new camera and it's kind of blurring in and out as I think it tries to focus on me or the items behind me. That concludes my video for this week. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. If you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, or you have a happy couple days off if you get a couple days off. And I will see you in my next video.